The story begins with Shinichi Kano, a hardcore otaku and the protagonist of the story. He gets rejected by his crush, punishing him further into the otaku rabbit hole. Thanks to his vast knowledge in anime, manga, and games, he lands a job in a company looking for such an otaku. However, his meeting goes sideways when he's dragged by his employer. Shinichi wakes up in a mysterious place and sees a maid who is speaking a foreign language. She gives him a ring which allows them to talk to each other. Shinichi is taken aback by all this but loves the attention he's getting. The maid introduces herself as Muse of Foreign, and she calls Shinichi her boss. Another girl explains that Shinichi is in the capital of the Holy Elden Empire. She introduces herself as Minori Koganuma, a member of the self-defense force. She explains that he was brought to the fantasy world of the Elden Empire. The guy who dragged him, Matoba Jinzaburo, shows up in a car and explains to him that they discovered a strange hole in the jungle around Mount Fuji which contained a wormhole to another world, the world of the Holy Elden Empire. Unlike Earth, this world functioned on magic and had magical creatures such as dragons. Humans of Earth dispatched a team to this new world and struck a deal with the people of this fantasy world. They came with Animerecap, an entertainment firm. As the general manager of Animerecap, Shinichi Kano's job is to export Japan's best anime, manga, and video games to this world. Shinichi first tries to leave but is convinced to stay after hearing about the privileges he'll receive. Later that day, Musil gives him some tea and accidentally reveals her elf ears. She tells him that she's part elf. She says that elves are not treated well in this world. Shinichi tells her that he will never be mad at her for who she is. Since she can't read, he teaches her some basic Japanese letters. She introduces him to his servant, Brooke Darwin. Later, he is summoned to the court of the Empress to meet her, but he loses control when he sees that the Empress is a 16-year-old girl. This angers her, and she uppercuts him. Matoba comes to the rescue and tells the Empress that in their world, one is not considered an adult until they are 20. This calms the Empress down. Minori introduces him to Chancellor Zaharil and the noble knight and Empress's cousin, Galeus and Cordoval. Galeus expresses his doubts on the otaku culture and questions its value since it can be mastered by a mere child like Shinichi. This angers Shinichi, who calls Galeus a fool for judging otaku culture before experiencing it. Galeus charges at him in fury but is stopped by Zahara. Shinichi's attitude amuses the Empress, and she gives a green light for the Animerecap project. Shinichi then spends his nights teaching Musil, and his days bringing some anime or manga books that might interest this world. The Empress comes to supervise Shinichi's work one day and is quite impressed, so she allows him to call her by her first name, Petrolka. She orders Shinichi to read her a manga and tells everyone else to leave them. Shinichi convinces the Empress to leave Musil with them. As he's reading the manga, he gets more talkative with Musil, which makes the Empress jealous. Shocked to learn that elves and lizard people are treated like second-class citizens who must join the army to move up the ranks, Musil also used to be in the army and was known for her use of magic. One day, as he's reading a manga for Petrolka, she gets angry at Musil for interrupting them. Shinichi stops the Empress before she shouts at Musil and explains the values of equality and freedom to her. The Empress forgives Musil after being impressed by Shinichi's attitude once again. Shinichi promises to teach the Empress Japanese as well. Shinichi orders the construction of a school for everyone in the new world, which soon gets filled with people eager to learn. During his routine manga narration, the Empress confesses that she has never had fun with being with someone before. However, Shinichi upsets her by talking about Musil. Minori explains to Shinichi that the Elden Empire is built on a feudal system incompatible with the values of the modern world and thus not ready for change. Later that day, Shinichi is surprised to learn that Musel can now form long sentences in Japanese. She asks Shinichi to take her with him to Japan, which makes Shinichi blush but also confused since he doesn't want to get his hopes up.